Today I'm going to try and repair a broken clock in a 944. So we have to take the clock out. And this is a little complex because it's under all these trim pieces. We're going to remove the knobs, the round knobs and the slider knobs on the climate control. We're going to pull the climate control access plate off. We're going to remove the little cover over the temperature sensor. We're going to remove this little cover here. We're going to remove this cover on the side of the screw. So for this one, the temperature one, we're going to take just a flathead screwdriver, and if you put it in the bottom slot, and if you just give a little rotation counterclockwise, it comes off. There's little tabs on there that interlock on either side, and there's a Phillips head screw. And for the one over here, you can either use a small screwdriver or sometimes you can even use your fingernail, and there's two little clips on either side, so you can gently pry this out. Here, let's see if I can get this. A little hard to do one-handed while I hold the camera. There we go. And then there's two Phillips head screws under there. Here's the one screw on the side after I removed that side dash panel. This one right here. To avoid breaking the trim over the climate control panel, I try to get my screwdriver way under the side here so it doesn't flex too much. And then I can rotate it, and then there it comes. And now we have to undo the 4 screws on either side. Now I believe I'm ready to pull off this trim piece. For the vent on-off switch down here, if it's in the middle, then it'll pop out of the little grooves here. So we can kind of start pulling this off from the edge, and lifting this up. Might have to shimmy this out a little bit. So you can see that this trim piece tucks underneath the clear plastic piece. Alright, I've wiggled the climate control unit up a little bit, and I think that will give us the room we need to get this out. I do see that the little light bulb for the cigarette lighter is sliding out, so I'll have to make sure we get that plugged in. This might be a two-handed job here to wiggle this out. Okay, got that wiggled out, and so now we have to unplug the hazard switch, the clock, and the cigarette lighter. So here it is. Clock with a broken screen. I've cut through that little felt tape with a razor blade because it's not going to unstick and stick again. So there's 2 little Phillips head screws on either side, and then there's 2 little plastic tabs that go into the plastic. So we should be able to get the clock out of the trim. And that's pretty grimy around those buttons. Once I undid the little screws on those tabs, I was able to kind of pivot it up, kind of tilt it up and came out. But I'm going to see if I can clean up around those buttons with a toothbrush and maybe a little electronics cleaner or compressed air. So here's the clock kit. It's from 914 Rubber. I think it was $35. It has a new LCD panel. It comes with an LED backlight and 2 little rubber strips and a little alcohol pad for, I think, rubbing it down. And then they also have a link to the installation instructions, which are printed out as a PDF, and then the clock. So I'm going to see about following these directions and see how I make out. So I followed the directions, and I have, using some little alligator test leads and a jump pack, I've hooked up power, and you can see that the little LED is shining. The little blue LED is shining in the backlight, and the clock is working. You've got the stopwatch, and you've got the clock, We've got the set function. It's all good to go. Hey, look at that. With the working clock, this car is just very slightly less of a disaster.